Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. With it being September, hockey season is right around the corner, starting in October. And, being from Colorado, I'm excited for the Broncos. Football and hockey are my two favorite sports. Excited for the Broncos season to get underway, but I'm also excited for the Avs season to get underway. We're the defending Stanley Cup champions. We got this great roster. Watching the team in 2017 when we had like 40 some points, that was rough. That was a rough time to be a fan. But now that we're on top, it's a great time to be a fan. Let's jump in to the Avalanche 2022-23 lineup predictions. But not only am I going to be giving you my lineup predictions, I'm going to be giving you the defense pairings, the goaltending tandem. I'm going to give you extra players that will probably be utilized throughout the seasons, just with how the season goes with injuries and whatnot. And then I will give you the team prediction, who I think the team MVP is going to be, breakout player, surprise player, stuff like that in this video. So if you do enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Let's jump into this. And as always, I want to remind you that Jesus is King. I pray that you give your life to him. He's got a plan and a purpose for you. And I just truly hope that you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior and believe with your whole heart that he died on the cross for your sins. And if you truly believe and truly trust that he died on the cross for your sins, you'll go to heaven. It's that simple. It's that easy. The work is finished. All you have to do is accept the free gift of Jesus. Of course, that choice is up to you, and I hope you do accept it. And I hope to see you in heaven. But the choice is up to you. And as a Christian, I do feel it's important to share this message with as many people as possible. A lot of people aren't going to like it, but, I am going to try and do it with this platform that I have. Now, let's jump in to the lineup predictions. So, on the first line, I feel like it's fairly simple. We got the captain, Gabriel Landeskog, on the left wing, Nathan MacKinnon at center, which, by the way, I'm hoping we can sign Nathan MacKinnon to an extension, because this is the last year of his contract before he hits free agency. He's going to be an expensive free agent, and I'd rather just get it done now so we don't have to sweat it out at the deadline and have him potentially sign with another team, like Johnny Gaudreau did. I'm just hoping that doesn't happen, so I hope Joe Sakic can get him to sign here. I don't see why he wouldn't sign. He grew up an Avs fan. So that was his favorite team, so he should stay here. We're defending champs, but, still don't want to sweat it out. And then you got Mikko Rantanen on the right wing, which, Mikko Rantanen, he was fantastic in the regular season last year, but sort of disappeared when it came to the playoffs. He started to make a resurgence towards the end in the Western Conference Final and then the Stanley Cup Final. So that, it's the top line. It doesn't get much harder than that. But now when it comes to the second line, it gets a little bit more difficult. We lost Nazem Kadri. Who's going to replace that second center role? Well, on the left wing, I have Valeri Nichushkin. Nichushkin just signed his extension, 8 years extension, which, I'm excited about. I'm a little bit nervous with, I hope he can still play at that high level. I think he can. Obviously struggled early with Dallas in his career, went to the KHL for a bit. The Dallas cut him. We picked him up, and he's been a star ever since. But I don't know. 8 years. I think it's 8 years, right? How long is Nichushkin's contract? Because I think it's 8 years, but it'll pretty much tie him to the Avs for the rest of his career. Yeah, it's an 8-year contract. So I'm excited. Can be a little bit nervous, but hey. Then you got Lehkonen on the right wing, who just signed an extension with the Avs. I believe it's a 5-year deal. It's 4 or 5 years. I always get his and Josh Manson's deals mixed up because they were signed on the same day. But Lehkonen is back, and I do expect him to play on the second line. He got some first-line minutes in the playoffs last year, and he was a star in the playoffs, and I expect him to be a solid depth role. I do see him as a middle six forward, so I can see him playing up on the second role, but I could also see him playing down on, or up on the second line, and then playing down on the third line as well as that middle six type of forward. Then at the second line center, I have Alex Newhook. We drafted him in 2019. both him and Bowen Byram. And, we drafted him to be a center, and now is his time to take over that second center role. Kadri is gone. We need someone to replace him. A lot of people are picking him as a breakout candidate this season. I would love to see that. I want to see that next level from Alex Newhook. We haven't quite seen it so far in his career, but I'm hoping he can take that next step and be our second line center. But yeah, moving on to the third line, I have Andrew Cogliano, the veteran. He's a gritty player. I also could see him playing down on the fourth line potentially, but I have him here on the third line, along with JT Compher, who I have centering that third line, and Logan O'Connor, who, by the way, I forgot to put in my prediction video when I did the prediction lineups. I can't believe I forgot Logan O'Connor. That was just a dumb mistake by me. Didn't forget him this time. And then, yeah, JT Compher on the third line. I think that's a solid third line. Of course, you all are going to downgrade when, you can have Kadri as your second center. This team, unfortunately, I hate to say it, I think we got a little bit worse by losing Nazem Kadri, but at the same time, I'm still confident that we can play at this high level. And then on the fourth line, we got Darren Helm, we got Ben Myers, who I think this counts as his rookie season. We signed him out of Minnesota after the national championship. We exercised. I think we burned 2 years on his contract so he could jump in and play right away. But I still think he's counted as a rookie this season. And, he was solid in the games that he got to play in. He wasn't eligible for the playoffs, but this year he will be with the team. And I think Ben Myers, he really proved himself in the games that he did play. And then I finally have Martin Kaut making the jump to the roster. Now, I do want to say, if you don't think this is going to be Martin Kaut, I do think it could be a Sampo Ranta. As much as I want to see Oscar Olsson jump into the big leagues, well, A, he would be a left winger, and B, I think I want him, and I think he could jump to the NHL roster to start this season. I think the team wants him to develop with the Colorado Eagles for a little bit this season, and then maybe get called up maybe, halfway through the season towards the end of the season. But yes, maybe Martin Kaut, our 2018 first round pick, finally cracks the big league roster, and we'll have to see. Now for the defense pairing, this has got to be the easiest defense pairing. Devon Toews, who's kind of, I'm not going to say he's underrated, but he's underrated in the fact that he plays with Cale Makar. Cale Makar, obviously the best defenseman in the NHL. He gets all the flash, all the praise, but Devon Toews is a very solid defenseman in his own right. Not only defensively in his own zone, but also offensively. He's got the offensive upside that Cale Makar has. Makar's on the first power play, but Devon Toews helps power play that second power play unit, both him and Girard. Maybe we'll see Byram on that second power play unit this year with how Sam Girard played last year. But that's my first defense pairing. Going on to my second defense pairing, it's Bowen Byram. I think he has earned that spot after the playoffs over Sam Girard as the second pairing defenseman. Now, to be fair to Sam Girard, he did get hurt in the playoffs, and I can't fault him for that. But also in the regular season, he wasn't the greatest. So I'm going to have Bowen Byram as a second pairing defenseman. Another 2019 first round pick. Him and Newhook were our first round picks then. And so I do got Bowen Byram as that second pairing defenseman. And I also have Josh Manson, who really impressed me in the playoffs. And I was hoping we were going to re-sign him. There were a lot of reports that he was going to go back to Anaheim. But I'm glad that Joe Sakic got this move done. Got Manson back on a 4-year deal, I believe. I believe Manson is the 4-year deal and Lehkonen is a 5-year deal. But yeah, Josh Manson, he definitely makes this D-Corp better, in my opinion. He doesn't have the offensive upside, the Makar, the Toews, the Byram, but he can score. He's mostly going to be utilized in the defensive zone, more of a defensive defenseman, but he'll jump into the rush. He'll score on you if you don't keep an eye on him. He actually had some big time clutch goals in the Stanley Cup in the Stanley Cup playoffs, not just the final. And I'm really glad that Manson is back on this squad. Going to the third defense pairing, I have Sam Girard and Erik Johnson. Gerard, I'm hoping he can rebound and have that bounce back season. I know a lot of Avs fans hate him and they wanted us to trade him in the offseason and whatnot. I like Sam Gerard. I'm hoping that was just a down season for him. I'm hoping that he can bounce back and be that guy that we know who has that offensive upside, does the spinorama. I'm hoping that he can bounce back. And then you got Erik Johnson as well. Is this Erik Johnson's final hoorah with the team? Is he going to retire after this season? Could this be the last time we see Condor play hockey? We'll have to see, whether or not it is or not. I have to respect Erik Johnson. He's been through the thick and thin. Obviously drafted first overall by the Blues back in what was it? Like 2011, something like that. First overall pick by the Blues, and we trade for Erik Johnson. Then he's been through the highs and lows. He was through the lows of 2017. Finishing last place, losing the draft lottery, getting the 4th overall pick, drafting Cale Makar, and then turning the whole franchise around to win the Stanley Cup. EJ's been through it all, so yeah, I got to say that whatever it is, I respect the Condor. Thank you for everything you've done. But anyway, he's on the 3rd defense pairing for this upcoming season. Next for the goaltenders, I do have Alexander Georgiev as the starter. He's got a lot of upside, and when he does start games, he gets on a roll and he's actually pretty good. But it's when you see him playing one game out of every 4 nights or something like that, 5 nights, that he starts to slow down and he gets out of the groove. So if you start him, he does build up that rhythm, and I think he can be a solid goaltender in this league. Maybe, Avs fans are a little bit nervous, including myself, a little bit nervous on the goalie downgrade, but I trust Joe Sakic, and I'm hoping Georgiev can become one of the better goaltenders. I mean, he looked solid before the Rangers got Shesterkin. I mean, he looked like a really good, solid goaltender. And then when he was the backup to Shesterkin and played one every few nights, he looked a little shaky in net. So we'll have to see which Georgiev we get in net for the Avs. But I do have him as the starter. Then I have Pavel Francouz as the backup. Now, I could see Francouz starting as our starting netminder, but to me, I think he is the A-plus backup goaltender. I think he can come in relief. He can come and start a few games if you need him to, but I don't know if he gets that full workload of being a starting goaltender. We'll have to see what Bednar, we'll have to see what Sakic wants to do. But yeah, Brett Heimlich, our goaltending coach, we'll have to see what he does. Brett Heimlich was our video coach. Yusuf Parkalaj is our goaltending. Yeah, Yusuf Parkalaj is our goaltending coach. And then, Ray Bennett, Nolan Pratt. I think they're still with the team. I think those are still our assistant coaches. But, yeah, we'll have to see what – it's going to be mostly up to Bednar and I think Sakic. But also the other coaches will jump into that decision as well. But to me, I do have Alexander Georgiev as the starting netminder for the Avs. Here's some extra skaters that, due to injuries and whatnot, could hop up into the starting lineups and get some playing time. Yeah, like I said, with injuries or if a player's season isn't going as expected, maybe send them down and bring another player up. But I have Sampo Ranta, Oscar Olesen, Mikhail Motslev, Jason Megna, Sean Barons, Justus Anunin, Brad Hunt, Anton Blyde, Shane Bowers, and Jonas Johansson as players that could step up in a specific role if asked. And, these are just extra skaters to look out for potentially in the upcoming season. Now we are jumping in to the season predictions for the Avalanche. I'm going to be predicting, as you can see on the screen, what I think the Avalanche record is going to be, where I think they're going to finish in the division, who I think the team MVP is going to be, who I think the leading scorer is going to be, who I think is going to score the most goals, who I think the surprising player on the team is going to be, and who I think the best rookie is going to be on the team. So let's jump into this. What do I think the Avs record is going to be? I'm going with 54, 21, and 9 for a total of 117 points. A little bit worse than last year. So yeah, that's 54 wins, 21 losses, and 9 losses in overtime or the shootout. So, it's going to be tough with losing guys like Kadri, with losing Darcy Kemper. Those are some major losses, but I do think that we have filled in the pieces. We'll have to see how Georgiev plays, as I mentioned. We'll have to see if Newhook can step up as that second line center. But if they do fill in that role, I don't think we'll be quite as good as last year. But I do think we'll still be a very good team. 117 points is no slouch. It's nothing to slouch at. That is a really, really good record. So maybe I'm being a little bit ambitious here, but that's my prediction. And I do have us finishing first in the Central. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than everybody realizes. I do think we finish first. If I had to give my predictions, it would be us first. I'd say probably Minnesota second, the Blues third, and then it's tough after that. It's tough after that. Arizona obviously is going to finish last in our division. I would expect, but I have it us first, and then I have the Minnesota Wild, just slightly behind us in second place in that division. I think it's going to be a fight between us and the Wild, and I think maybe the Blues can jump up in that conversation. But for right now, I do think it is going to be us finishing first in the Central. Who I think our MVP is going to be, I'm going with Kale. Is he the best player on our team? Is it Nathan MacKinnon? I'm not going to make that debate because as an Avs fan, I love them both. So I'm not going to choose, but I do think it is going to be Cale Makar, just with his versatility, both offensively with the puck, but also defensively. He's very sound as well. So I am going to go with Cale as a team MVP. As for who I think is going to be the leading scorer, I am going to go with Nathan MacKinnon. I think he's going to get a lot of goals, but I also think he's going to get a lot of assists. Working on the power play, they're going to feed MacKinnon the puck for a goal, but also he is able to feed others like Landeskog, Rantanen, Makar, whoever else we're going to have on that first power play now that Kadri's gone. I think his ability to feed pucks and also get those assists is what's going to make him the leading scorer on the team. But as for the most goals, I'm going to go with Mikko Rantanen. I'm going with the prediction that he's going to get fed a lot on the power play. He's got a great one-time shot, and I think that his ability to get the one-time shot, I think he's going to be the leading goal scorer. Of course, he can score in many ways. He's got a nasty backhand, but I just have a feeling that Mikko Rantanen is going to finish with the most goals on our team. By the way, these are just for the Avalanche. This is just going to be for the Avalanche. So if any NFL fans are like, wow, you're just so biased, you're just choosing Avs for everything. That's kind of the whole point. This is just for the Avs. I'm not talking about in the entire league, because I think for the most goals in the league, I think that's going to be Austin Matthews. So, I mean, just chill. This is just for the Avalanche. As for the surprise player, I'm going to go with Alexander Georgiev. I do think Georgiev will surprise a lot of Avs fans this season. At least I'm hoping so. So that's going to be my pick as a surprise. Is he going to be as good as Kemper? We'll see. But I think that Joe Sakic knows what he's doing. He liked what he saw from Georgiev. So, we gave up our 3rd and 5th round picks for Georgiev. So, hey, let's see what he can do for the Avs. And as for rookie, I think there's only really one that I'm going to choose here, and that's Ben Myers. I think, you could technically go Martin Kaut. I don't know if he's still considered a rookie. He doesn't have much service time in the NHL, Kaut does, but I'm going to go with Ben Myers. From what I saw, he looked really, really solid. So, yeah, I'm going from the former Minnesota Golden Gopher captain, and I'm going Ben Myers as the best rookie. But that is the video, so let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let me know who your line predictions are for the Avalanche, defense pairings, the goaltending tandem. Let me know what you think the Avs record is going to be, where we're going to rank in the division, who our MVP is going to be, leading scorer, most goals, surprise player. Let me know that in the comment section below. I appreciate all of you for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. The support is greatly appreciated, and I will catch you in a new video very, very soon. Peace out.